Hello and welcome to all my dear students of excellence. I hope you are doing fine and must be having good time at home. So, once again I welcome you on this amazing platform of Physics Wala where I am teaching you the chapter Genetics Part 1, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. Today we are going to take the lecture number 8. We have almost completed the major portion of the chapter. The only topic left which we are going to start today is pedigree analysis. I hope you all have seen all the previous lectures which we have discussed, like in which we have discussed about the Mendelian history, which is your classical genetics. Then we have discussed about the modern genetics, which was given by Bateson, under which we studied two-gene interaction, followed by experimental genetics by T.H. Morgan, in which you have studied about linkage and the concept of recombination. Yes, so chalo, let's start with the today's class in which we are going to deal in with pedigree analysis. Beta, pedigree analysis simply means when we are talking about tracing the inheritance pattern of different gene in a family tree or in a family history. Like for example, if my grandfather is having X gene, then what is the probability of me receiving the same gene? Or if my grandmother is having suppose a Y gene, then what is the probability of me receiving the same gene as a part of the family history? So pattern of inheritance of gene can be easily traced with the help of pedigree analysis. This pedigree analysis, bachcho, has helped number of couples who are expecting their child. Like for example, there is kind of a genetic disorder which has been in the family. Now there is a expecting couple. Expecting couple means couple who is expecting a child. Now they are worried that maybe the same disorder may pass in their child. So they will visit to such doctors who are expert in dealing with the pedigree charts, so they can tell the couple that what are the percentage of chances that yes, their child can also have the same disorder which is there in their family history, so that the couple can be aware about the upcoming disorders or type of gene possibly inherited by their child. So what is pedigree analysis? Basically, bachcho, pedigree analysis is the concept of learning the concept of learning that how, that what is the pattern, the concept of learning the pattern of inheritance. Inheritance of genes in a family tree. Understood? This pedigree analysis, this concept helps the expecting couple to understand the probability of their child, helps to understand the probability of their child having the same disorder as present in the family. Understood? Chalo. So now we are going to learn about the pedigree analysis, that how this has to be done. But today we are mainly going to concern about the different types of disorders that we can easily trace in a pedigree chart. But before that, you should know there are symbols that has to be used while you denote a male or a female or a child and something like that. So first we are going to see the symbols which are to be used in pedigree chart. A circle symbolizes female. A rectangle in pedigree chart symbolizes male. See, a simply circle, no coloration inside means a normal female which is not having the disease. Rectangle without coloration means a normal male which is not having the disease which you are tracing in the chart. However, a colored, a darkened female means diseased female. A female which is suffering from the disorder that you are tracing in the pedigree chart. Same goes for male. Colored male means, my dear students, diseased male. So diseased female, diseased male. I hope you have first of all understood these four terminologies. Next symbol is to show the marriage line. So when you draw a single line between male and female, this line indicates that the marriage has taken place between these two people. Now, if you want to tell about their children, so like this you have to draw this from the marriage line. A line has to be drawn vertically, then showing the number of their children. Now this is the children line. Now from the same line, if more than one offspring is shown, then these two are basically the siblings. Right? Yes or no? Now suppose there is a marriage between close relative like maternal uncle and paternal uncle got married. Maternal auntie and paternal uncle got married. So this is like a marriage within the family kind of. So that is called as consanguineous marriage, and it is depicted by double line between the male and female. So this depicts consanguineous marriage. Consanguineous marriage means marriage between close relatives, right? So yes, marriage between close relative is known as consanguineous marriage. I hope you have understood these are the common symbols which we are going to use, which I will be using you while I will explain you that how you can solve the pedigree charts. Beta, in NEET examination, you know, every year 1 or 2 questions are surely asked from this section. So please pay attention while you're listening to the lecture. And chalo, so let's start. Now, before beta we start the concept, or before we start that how to solve the pedigree charts, there are certain disorders which you should know. The details of those disorders should be known to you. Now, first of all, there can be 2 types of genetic disorders under the heading chromosomal and Mendelian disorders. Now, what is chromosomal? Chromosomal disorders means those disorders which occur due to the change in the chromosome number and arrangement of chromosome due to mutation. Like I have already told you while I was taking my last lecture, that is like Turner syndrome, Noonan syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome. All these are types of chromosomal disorders. Chromosomal disorder means disorders which occurs due to the change in the nature of chromosome, due to the change in the nature of chromosome, maybe number or structure. When number or structure of chromosome gets changed, So right, so disorders which occurs due to the change in the chromosome number or structure is known as chromosomal disorder. Like for example, Down syndrome. Whereas, suppose what are Mendelian disorders? Mendelian disorders are those disorders which occur due to the change in a specific gene arrangement on a chromosome. Beta, Mendel was talking about genes. So if gene nature gets changed and if because of that some change or some disorder occurs in an organism, then such disorders are called as Mendelian disorders. So what are Mendelian disorders? Disorders which occurs due to the change in the gene arrangement on the chromosome, due to the change in the arrangement of gene on a chromosome. Like for example, color blindness, hemophilia. We have to study so many Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorders one by one. So first we are going to study today about Mendelian disorders. Today's whole lecture is basically dedicated to understand and to learn about Mendelian disorders only. So one by one we are going to study about Mendelian disorders. The number of Mendelian disorders which we are going to cover is color blindness, hemophilia, then your sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, and one more cystic fibrosis and phenylketonuria, right? So these are the different Mendelian disorders. Okay, but before I start with Mendelian disorder, I want to tell you one more thing, students. First, let me add just a page. Okay, now check this. Mendelian disorders, beta, they can be of two types. One, sex-linked Mendelian disorders, and second, autosomal Mendelian disorders. Sex-linked means those disorders which occur due to the change in the arrangement of gene located on sex chromosome, whereas autosomal Mendelian disorders are those which occurs due to the change in the gene located on autosome. Autosomal disorders, my dear students, will be equivalently distributed in both male and female, but sex-linked disorders, they are sex chromosome biased. Now, the disorder may be due to the change in the arrangement of gene located on X chromosome. So obviously in males there is only one X chromosome. Whereas if suppose Mendelian disorder occurs due to the change in the arrangement of the gene located on Y chromosome, so automatically females will get safe from that disorder. As you know, human females, they do not have Y chromosome. So sex-linked chromosome are sex biased, but autosomal disorders are not sex biased because number of autosomal chromosome are equally distributed to both man and woman. So sex-linked means change in gene occurring, change in a gene occurring located on sex chromosome. Now that sex chromosome can be either X or can be Y. Correct? Second thing, these disorders are obviously sex biased. Right? Autosomal means when the change in a gene occur, when a disorder occur due to the change in a gene located on autosomal chromosome. right? So these are not sex biased. I hope you have understood till here. Now beta, there is a list of disorders which you have to study. Here are the disorders, Mendelian disorders, and here are their types. So first which we are going to study, as I have already told you, is color blindness, which is actually a sex-linked disorder whose genes are located on X chromosome. So they are X-linked recessive disorder. Similarly is hemophilia. I'll tell you what all these are. Right now I'm just telling you, introducing you with the terminologies. These are also X-linked. Genes are located on X chromosome. Recessive disorder. Now what is recessive? What is dominant? Little bit idea you have, but more I will tell you while I'll teach you. Third, sickle cell anemia. It is basically beta, it is autosomal recessive disorder. Genes are located on autosome. Next, thalassemia. Thalassemia. It is again autosomal recessive disorder. Moving towards the next, phenylketonuria. Same, autosomal recessive. Cystic fibrosis, a disease related to lungs, autosomal recessive. Myotonic dystrophy, where your muscles they break down, kind of paralysis. It is an autosomal dominant disorder. Understood? Now one by one we are going to discuss all these. First start with color blindness. Now what is color blindness? The name itself suggests you when a person fails to distinguish between colors, mainly red and green. A person who is suffering from color blindness beta, that fellow is not able to identify red and green color. So this is known as color blindness. First thing. Second thing beta, the genes which are responsible for causing color blindness are specifically located on X chromosome, right? Which is again unequally distributed in both male and female. Females are homozygous for X chromosome, whereas males are hemizygous for the X chromosome, as their second sex chromosome is Y. So obviously biasness will be there. Third point, in color blindness beta, it is X-linked, I told you. Recessive disorder. Recessive means when both the alleles of the gene will be same, then only this disorder will be reflected. Okay. So I was telling you about color blindness, that it is a sex-linked recessive disorder. That means the genes are located on X chromosome and the disease will only reflect when both the alleles of a gene in a diploid cell will be present in their recessive state. So first point, what we are going to write for color blindness? Inability to distinguish between colors, mainly red and green. Right? Second point, the genes are located on X chromosome, genes for color blindness, which we are going to denote by symbol C only, are located on X chromosome. Now, it is basically an X-linked recessive disorder बच्चों. What do you mean by this X-linked recessive disorder? That means, suppose, now there are two conditions. For females, both the chromosome is X. For male, one of the chromosome is X and the another sex chromosome is Y. So in case of female beta, the disorder will only come when the gene is present in its homozygous recessive state, when both the chromosome will have this recessive C gene. Then only the female will become diseased. Otherwise, in normal condition, when no C allele of the gene is present, female will be normal. The third condition in case of female comes when it is heterozygous for the C gene. Then in this case, the female will become carrier. However, in males, there is no such condition of carrier as they are hemizygous. There is only two conditions. Either males can be normal or they can be simply diseased. No such condition of carrier is applicable for males as they are hemizygous for the same chromosome. Right? Understood? Now, next important point beta which you should know regarding this is color blindness beta. It follows crisscross pattern of inheritance. Now, what is this crisscross pattern of inheritance? Let me tell you. Beta, from female, the disorder will go to male, and from female, the disorder will go to male. That means from father, disorder will pass to daughter, and from mother, the disorder will be passed to the son. And obviously males are more prone to this disorder as they do not have the probability of becoming the carrier. For example, I'll show you how. Suppose a diseased father, a diseased man marries a carrier woman for color blindness. Then let's check out what is the probability of their sons and daughter getting the same disorder. A diseased man, this beta, correct representation of the genotype. He marries a carrier woman. Carrier woman means what? Right? Now, what are the probability of their gametes? Male will produce two types of gametes. Female will also over here produce two types of gametes. One having the allele of C gene, another not having the allele of the C gene because she is the carrier. Now these gametes, they are going to combine. They are going to produce the zygote. Now see what is the probability. Or let me take one more page so that I can explain you clearly. Chalo, check this out. So this is the condition beta. I think this color is not visible properly. White will be perfect. Right? Now, what is the probability of their daughters getting diseased and their sons getting diseased? Check this. Beta, the sons are receiving the X chromosome from the mother only. That is why we say that in case of X-linked disorders, mother transmits the gene to the son because mother is the one who is going to give its X chromosome to the son. So you can see that here the X chromosome of mother, one of the X chromosome is normal, one of the X chromosome of the mother is diseased. So you can see 50% of the son are normal, but over here 50% are diseased. There is no option of being carrier. Ab daughters में क्या होगा बेटा? Daughters, they are receiving the one of the X chromosome from mother and another X chromosome from the father. So you can say the deciding factor for X-linked recessive disorder in daughters is actually the father. Now you see, one of the X chromosome received from father is also having the C gene allele, and one of the X chromosome received from the mother is also having the same allele of the diseased gene. So 50% of the daughter will be diseased, but 50% will become carrier because their father is diseased but mother is carrier. So 50% will be carrier. No normal daughter. Why? Because father is diseased. So father is diseased. That is why no daughter can be normal. At least daughter will become the carrier as it is following crisscross pattern of inheritance. Understood? Same will go for any kind of X-linked recessive disorder. Like you see, second is hemophilia. Hemophilia is also X-linked recessive disorder. X-linked means crisscross pattern of inheritance, right? So this hemophilia is also an X-linked recessive disorder. It is also an X-linked recessive disorder which will follow crisscross pattern of inheritance. Now what happens in this hemophilia beta? Blood fails to coagulate at the site of injury. As a result, even a small injury leads to heavy loss of blood, right? So what is hemophilia? When blood fails to coagulate at the site of injury, as a result, heavy loss of blood takes place. Heavy loss of blood takes place even from a minute injury. Beta, hemophilia is also known as bleeder's disease. Also, it is known as Royal's disease. Why it is known as Royal's disease? Because it is very prominent in the royal family, which is Queen Victoria family. You know, in Queen Victoria family, Queen Victoria herself was the carrier of hemophilia. So many of their males in their family, many of the descendant male are having this disease. So this is also known as Royal's disease, as Queen Victoria was herself the carrier of this disease. Right? Now there can be two types of hemophilia, hemophilia A and hemophilia B. Hemophilia A means out of the clotting factors, when 8th clotting factor is missing. See, why the blood fails to coagulate? For clotting, beta, 13 clotting factors are required. If any one of the clotting factor is missing, blood won't coagulate, and yes, loss of blood will keep on taking place. Now, there are two types of hemophilia, that is hemophilia A and hemophilia B. Hemophilia A occurs, beta, when blood clotting factor 8 is missing, right? Whereas hemophilia B occurs when blood clotting factor 9 is missing. 8th blood clotting factor is anti-hemophilic globulin. Whereas 9th factor is Christmas factor, which is also known as, therefore, hemophilia B is also known as Christmas disease. So, which are the two types of hemophilia? Hemophilia A and hemophilia B on the basis of the missing clotting factor. If clotting factor 8 is missing, then it is known as hemophilia A. And if clotting factor 9 is missing, then it is known as hemophilia B. Clotting factor 8 is anti-hemophilic globulin. Short form is AHG. Whereas clotting factor 9 is Christmas factor. Hence, hemophilia B is also known as Christmas disease. Understood? Ab beta, pattern of inheritance is absolutely going to the same as you saw in case of color blindness. क्या होगा यहां पर? Same, crisscross. That means from the father, disease will pass on to daughter, and from mother, beta, disorder will pass to the son. जैसे for example, suppose a diseased, same example I will take, diseased father marries a carrier woman. So what are the probabilities of their daughter and son receiving the disease? It will be same. Diseased father, okay, H is the representation for hemophilia, like C was the representation for color blindness. Marrying a mother who herself is the carrier. Now this is the condition. Same answer. Just check this out. No daughter will be normal, right? Same condition. 50% of the daughter diseased, 50% of them will be carrier. No normal daughter. Why? Because their father is diseased. So at least daughter will become carrier. Son, 50% son diseased, 50% normal, because their mother is at least the carrier. Understood, beta? So you can see the same result. Same result you can see over here. Why? Because both hemophilia and color blindness are your sex-linked recessive disorder. Now, moving towards the next disorder, which is sickle cell anemia. Beta, sickle cell anemia is very simple. It is autosomal recessive disorder. First thing, क्या है ये? It is autosomal recessive disorder. That means it will be equally distributed in both the sexes. No sex biasness will be seen. Right. Now, what happens in case of sickle cell anemia, beta? The shape of the RBC changes from biconcave to sickle shape. This is the normal shape of RBC. A person suffering from sickle cell anemia, the shape of the RBC will change from biconcave to sickle shape. क्या होगा इसकी वजह से? What will happen? The oxygen carrying capacity will decrease. Obviously बात है, surface area has decreased. Now oxygen carrying capacity as a result will get decrease. As a result, oxygen carrying capacity of RBC decreases, घट जाएगी उसकी capacity, right? As a result, person will start feeling anemic. So, a person having sickle cell anemia will not be able to survive much, as obviously RBC will not be able to carry oxygen well, and yes, the person will become anemic. This is actually qualitative anemia. Chalo, now let's check the condition. This is the first point. Now, why this happened? Question comes, क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? So this sickle cell anemia occurs. Okay, first you should know, beta, hemoglobin is a quaternary protein. which is made up of 2 alpha chains of protein and 2 beta. Now, in one of the beta chain, the arrangement on mRNA gets changed. Now, one of the beta chain, this is mRNA of beta chain, which is having number of nucleotides arranged. Now, the 6th nucleotide in normal mRNA of RBC is having adenine. Normally it is having adenine. Now, due to transversion type of mutation, type of mutation, beta, what happens? Now, on normal mRNA, the 6th, this is the 5th position, 6th and 7th. In normal mRNA chain of beta globin in hemoglobin is having adenine. Now, due to transversion type of mutation, the 6th position nucleotide adenine is replaced by uracil. Now, when it was GAG, this was responsible for producing protein glutamic acid after translation. Now, due to this transversion type of mutation, now the codon nature has changed from GAG to GUG. Now, this is after translation, no more producing glutamic acid, rather now it is contributing in the formation of valine. So, due to lack of glutamic acid and due to production of valine, the shape of RBC changes from biconcave to sickle shape. As a result, oxygen carrying capacity decreases and the person becomes anemic. This type of anemia, where the quality of protein changes from glutamic to valine, is known as sickle cell anemia. And that is why sickle cell anemia is also known as qualitative anemia, as the quality, the nature of protein is getting altered. It is an autosomal recessive disorder, so it is equivalently distributed to both the sexes. There is no sexed biasness. I hope you have understood this also. Now, moving ahead with the next type of autosomal recessive disorder called phenylketonuria. Now, what is this phenylketonuria, beta? Phenylketonuria is again, as I already told you, autosomal recessive disorder, right? Second, bachcho, in this case, your liver is responsible for producing an enzyme called phenylalanine hydroxylase. Now, a person suffering from phenylketonuria, there one specific gene stops functioning, because of which this enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase production stops. Due to the stop in the production of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, conversion of phenylalanine into tyrosine stops, and in the liver cells, accumulation of phenylalanine begins, where it then converts into phenylpyruvic acid or other derivatives. This accumulation of phenylpyruvic acid and other derivatives leads to mental retardation. Then kidney is not able to absorb huge amount of phenylketonuria or phenylpyruvic acid, so it starts coming out through the urine also, and in that case it is known as phenylketonuria disease. So what is happening? Due to the inactivation of a specific gene, inactivation of gene responsible for producing enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, right? So what will happen? As a result, phenylalanine beta will not be able to convert into tyrosine. So conversion will stop. Now what will happen? Accumulation of phenylalanine begins, जिसकी वजह से क्या होगा? As a result, the person will start feeling, the brain will stop functioning due to accumulation of phenylalanine. Now, later on, what will happen? Next is, in next step, you can write disorder will be developed which is characterized by mental retardation. It is characterized by mental retardation. So these are the points which you have to remember for phenylketonuria as well. Now moving towards the next disorder which I'll be taking on my next page, that is thalassemia. Now, but it is also a type of anemia, but it is quantitative anemia. Remember, why it is quantitative anemia? Because here the quality will remain the same. The type of protein produced will remain the same. Glutamic acid will only be produced. There will be no production of valine. However, the quantity of hemoglobin chain in the RBC will get altered. I have already told you that hemoglobin is a quaternary protein. It is a quaternary protein beta where 2 alpha and 2 beta chains are being produced. So there are 2 chains of alpha and there are 2 chains of beta which all together joins to make the hemoglobin. Now in case of thalassemia, the quantity of these polypeptide chain of hemoglobin gets altered. That means maybe hemoglobin will be produced with 3 alpha 1 beta or 3 beta 1 alpha. So if this thing happen, if the quantity of hemoglobin chain changes, then again RBC fails to function, it gets precipitated out, it fails to function, it fails to carry oxygen, thus causing anemia. But it is known as quantitative because the quantity of the polypeptide chain is getting altered. Understood? So what is thalassemia? When the number of polypeptide chain making hemoglobin gets altered. In that case, it is known as thalassemia. Maybe hemoglobin contain 3 alpha, 1 beta or containing 1 alpha, 3 beta. Anything happening, it is going to damage the RBC. RBC will not be able to carry the oxygen. Yes, thus causing anemia. I hope you all have understood all the different types of disorders which we have discussed in today's class. So what we have discussed about color blindness, where a person fails to identify the colors, especially red and green. Hemophilia, when there's heavy loss of blood loss even from a minute injury because blood fails to coagulate due to some missing blood clotting factor. Third is your phenylketonuria itself, where you have seen that there is accumulation of specific chemical called phenylalanine in the liver cells, because of which person becomes mentally retarded, human urine, that chemical start passing out through the urine, so color of the urine also gets altered. Then you have seen about sickle cell anemia, where you see the shape of the RBC get altered due to the change in the production of protein. The quality of the protein gets altered. Last, you have seen thalassemia, where actually beta, the quality of the protein produced remain the same, but the quantity of the polypeptide chain making the hemoglobin in the RBC get altered. Ultimately, unable to carry oxygen, RBC fails to carry oxygen, thus causing anemia. I hope you all have understood the different types of autosomal and sex-linked disorders under Mendelian heading. Chromosomal disorders we will study later on. For today, I'm going to keep it till here. But before I say thank you, you know the tradition. You have to solve some of the homework questions which are given to you. And then see you in the next class. Bye-bye to all my dear students. Thank you for joining me. Stay in touch. Keep learning. Keep working hard.